Let's see what we got. Go back through some of y'all's comments this morning. Fleece, good morning to you, man. MJ2. Yo, good morning, Jay. Can't stay long at work. Just happened to see you. Thank you for staying as long as you could. Appreciate that. Pull the volume down a little bit. Manuel, good morning to you. Let's see here. Andrew, good morning. Said, thank God it's Tuesday. Yes, sir. Exactly what I needed. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Gregory, good morning to you. Floppy night, sounding good as usual. Good morning, Tiffany. Appreciate that. Directorist, good morning. Illinois is in the house. Anthony, good morning to you. Sounding real good. Appreciate that. Sounds great. Thank you. Jonathan, Madagascar. Appreciate you watching. All right. My hands are tired for some reason this morning. We're pushing through it though. Take another round of this and we'll jump into it. This is in the key of E flat, by the way. If anybody's trying to jam along and you're lost, this is in the key of E flat. So we're moving from the starts on the 4, and I'll show you real quick. Like right here starts on the 4. To the 2. Then goes to the 6. Back 5. Back to the 4. Sometimes I'm substituting stuff in there to the 2. And I go. That's flat 7 to the 6. So everything I'm playing is kind of around those chord changes. And I'm kind of wiggling in and out of those chord changes and substituting some of the stuff to kind of get around it. So just in case you're jamming along, you're not driving, and you try to jam with it. Go back through a few more of these comments here. I done worked up a sweat in here. It's hot. All right, so Jardale, good morning to you. Thank you. Definitely driving. Yeah, don't play if you're driving. Thomas, man, thank you. So if any of you guys been following me for a good while, not just a couple of years, but if you've really been following me and you consider yourself a fan of the music, you will know what that song is. I'll give somebody that really knows that song a chance to put it in the comments. If you know what song that is, drop it in the comments. I'll tell it in a few minutes, but if not, it's all good. Just hang tight. I'll let you know what it is. But if you really think you know what that song is, drop it in the comments. I'll give you one hint. It was on the Life record. That's the only hint I'm going to give you. All right, so let me move to the comments. So Know Your Sound, yes, that's a nice track to practice to. I feel a new backing track coming. Not quite, not for that one. So, all right, so who's that? I can't make out what all it is. I'm gonna call you D. You said nice, I appreciate that. Thomas Bass is my 7-year-old son, Caden, says good morning. He thinks it's cool that it's like, wow, man, good morning, Caden. I got a son that's about to be 7 in another month. So yeah, cool stuff, man. Yeah, this live thing is something else. So yeah, so cool story about my about to be 7-year-old son. I guess I washed all the little paint that was on my finger, the little residue that I had. It's a little bit still left. So I decided, totally unrelated to anything we're talking about this morning. You just made me think about it when you said something about your 7-year-old Caden. I started this project with my son. So my other kids, my other 2 girls got new bikes. My daughter, her birthday is really close to Christmas. It's like December 15th, something like that. I'm saying something like that, like I don't know, but it's December 15th, and it's she needed a new bike, so we got her a bike, for the season or whatever, for her birthday. And then my youngest daughter, she's been riding this little tricycle. If you follow my family channel, you know about this already. Our family vlog is the Morgans. The Morgans vlog is on here on YouTube, so you know about all of this if you've been following that channel. So who's that? Somebody. I think somebody. We might have a winner in the comments. I'm gonna give somebody else time to put one down. We'll say I don't know. I'll say I don't know right now, Stephen. We'll say I don't know. So all right. Good morning, Robin. So I got my 3-year-old. She's been riding this little tricycle. And after my daughter got her bike, after my oldest daughter, she got her bike for her birthday. My 3-year-old's like, I think this is too small for me. I can't ride it. Not knowing we already had her bike. She didn't know it. But so like 2 weeks later, she got her bike. All right. So my son is looking around at everybody else's bike, and he's like, I like my bike, but it seems like everybody else's bike is a little more shinier than mine. So, him, of course, he needs a new bike. He's growing. This bike he's had for about 2 years. These little trainer bikes or whatever. And he's riding the mess out of it. I give it to him. He's doing his thing on his bike. So, what I propose to him, he's a self-proclaimed builder at 6 years old. He knows how to build stuff, so he says. So I decided instead of just buying him another bike, I said, you know what? I'm going to present this little project to him and see what he thinks about it. So his sister's old bike, I told him, we went and looked at the bike and everything. And I said, son, what you think about this bike? I said, first I asked him what he didn't like about his bike, and then I asked him what he liked about his sister's bike. He was like, well, and mind you, my son, he's a man's man. He don't like anything that looks remotely girly at all. So her bike is the bike we're working on, whatever. It's white and like light purple. So for him, that's just everything girl for him. So I had him to sit on the bike. He said, yeah, I think it's a little too big. I was like, dude, I said, you're gonna grow. And I went through the whole thing explaining about how his little sister is bigger, how his big sister is bigger, so she had to get a bigger bike and all this kind of stuff. So he's just going through and pointing out everything he don't like about the bike. I said, all right. I said, tell you what. I said, what if we do this? I said, what if we change the color of this bike, change everything on the bike, change the tires, the wheels, and all this other stuff, because the bike is a little older. This bike here is a little older, so it needs a little TLC to it. And so I started explaining to him everything we're going to do. And I said, we sand it down. He didn't know what sand meant. I said, we sand it down, get all the color off of it, repaint it, add all new stuff and add some new handlebar grips and add some new this and some new that. So he got really excited about that. And I think it's more so for him, the idea of watching it all come together as opposed to just buying him a brand new bike and presenting him with it. I think he's a little bit more excited about the process of seeing it all come together. So we started working on it yesterday. And so he's really, really excited about that. I know that had nothing to do with anything, but again, thanks to Caden, I had to bring it up. So I think I'm probably more excited about it than he is because, I used to really I'm not gonna say I used to, I just don't do it as often. I like building and trying to put stuff together like that. And so those little projects, I think it'll be fun. I think the memories that we're gonna create from that, hopefully he'll remember it. But the memories that will be created from that will be a lot more valuable than just going and buying a bike and having them, here you go, here's a new bike, that kind of thing. The girls probably wouldn't be as much. They're like, all right, just give me the bike, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? But him, I think it's a little different because he got this whole, builder mentality. All right, so moving on. All right, I think my time is kind of, I'm going to go ahead and announce that's the song, Scramble from the Life record. You're correct, Stephen. Of course, you knew that already. So if you got that record, go and check out that song, Scramble. That's from the solo section, the keyboard solo section. I just looped it. And so let's go here. I'm Derek, I see you. Good morning, afternoon from Kenya. Oh, you said good afternoon from Kenya. Okay, I got you. So good morning to you from America. So thanks for watching this morning. Thomas, good morning to you. Thanks for sharing. Great story. Awesome to invest like that in your children, man. Yeah, you don't get one shot, I say that because on the flip side of that, there are so many missed opportunities, and you look back because we always have this thing in our head, we're waiting on the right time to do stuff. We're always busy. We always have this going on. And truthfully, it would be easier to buy a bike. You know what I'm saying? Because that's pretty. Number one, it's cheaper to just buy a bike, and less time consuming. But it's those. I think it's those things as we get older and as you look back on. My kids are not that old. I told this many a times. My oldest is like 9 now. But even in that, as I look back, I take a lot of. My wife records everything. We have the family vlog. She's a photographer. She takes pictures. But there are a lot of random moments that I like to record on my phone. Over the years, I found myself doing that. Andre, good morning to you. So over the years, I found myself really doing that, like recording a lot of random moments. And it's just little stuff that they're doing that I think is either funny or interesting, and I'll record it, and then I'll go back years later and I'll watch it on my phone, and it's like, man, it seems like that time flew by so fast. So with that stuff being said, it's like, I definitely want to make sure I'm doing the necessary stuff to make those memories, because for me personally, I don't get to go back and see those memories with me and and my parents at that age, because it was a different world, and Polaroids and all that stuff, we don't have those anymore. When I was younger, my brother and I, well, my whole family, we went through a couple of house fires. So any pictures and things like that we would have had, we lost a lot of that stuff back in the day. So if your grandma or somebody didn't have that stuff, you don't have any memories that you can look at to just kind of reference what it was really like growing up, other than stories and stuff that you hear from your parents. So yeah, I think it's really, to me, it's valuable to go back and capture those memories and to be able to go back and look at stuff. Like I've done it many times when I was, away from home or doing gigs or just randomly doing something, and I'm going through my phone. I find myself oftentimes going through my phone, looking at old memories and stuff, and showing my wife, hey, look at this. Look how he was right here. Look how she was right here. Just finding little random moments just for my own pleasure. So, if you got kids, if you're thinking about kids, just, and I'm going to answer, I'm going to answer that question. If you're thinking about having kids, definitely make the most of the moment. Even if you're married or whatever, like, make the most of the moments, capture it. I almost kicked myself even in the early part of my musical career in my 20s. I didn't get a lot of footage. It's not necessarily related to family, but I didn't get a lot of footage of the things that I was doing when I, first started becoming a professional, because I was so busy trying not to look like, the newbie in the group or whatever, trying not to be so starstruck or whatever. I didn't take a lot of pictures. For whatever reason, just put it like that, I didn't take a lot of pictures. So now all I have on my wall is some lanyards and hardly any, pictures to go with it. I took a few pictures, but for all the stuff I've done over the years and all the people that I met, all the people that I work with, I kind of kick myself now that I didn't capture those moments to be able to, just for my own sake. So now that my kids are growing up, they see certain things on TV or they see certain videos of these people and that person, and it's like, I tell them, hey, I work with that person. They believe it, but I just wonder when they get older, are they going to think I'm like, that ain't did none of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So thankfully, there are a few videos out there with me playing with different artists and working with different people and that kind of thing that they can actually go back and reference. But for the most part, a lot of the people, a lot of the opportunities that I got, they were never recorded that I know about. And so I can't go back and show that to them, a lot of the highlights of that career, the music career part, being a working musician, so to speak. A lot of the highlights of the early part of it, I didn't capture it. So all this stuff being said, hopefully y'all take something away from this. Capture the moments, man. If y'all are not doing that, capture these moments, because that's your life. That's your history. These are important times for you, even as it relates to your kids, as it relates to your career, all this stuff. Be sure to capture these moments, because once they're over with, they're over. It's hard to redo this stuff. Some of these people die. Some of these moments pass and they'll never come back. So be sure to capture these moments, especially if they're not already being recorded. You want to make sure you do something to capture those moments. I didn't mean to go there, but hey, somebody might have needed to hear that. Don't be so proud. Try not to be starstruck or whatever you're trying not to be, that you don't capture moments like I did. So, all right, let me read through a few more of these comments. Anthony asks, does your wife play the bass? Nah, she don't. So sorry for everybody that's watched the video and you've been tricked so far into thinking that my wife plays the bass. And if you haven't watched the video, disregard everything that I said and just watch the video. So you'll find out. You'll find out there. No, my wife doesn't play the bass though. So it's yeah, it was a nice little spoof we did for the video. I thought it would be funny to do that, and yeah, it was cool. It was really fun to make. So the topic for today is get back up again. Get back up again, and not the Donnie McClurkin song, We Fall Down. That's not what I mean. But oftentimes, you find yourself kind of in these positions where you get the wind knocked out of you, and that can be life, that can be in your plan, that can be in your mentality, in your thinking, any part of wherever this applies. You just copy what I'm going to say, paste it to whatever area for you personally that this apply in. But you can find yourself in a position where, like, man, you really get caught off guard. Stuff really catches you off guard. Some of you guys, and you're playing, you were working really hard, and somebody came along and said something to you to really knock the wind out of you, made you want to quit. Or something happened, you had a performance or something like that, and you played and it was really bad. Something just, whatever that thing is, something really came along and just knocked the wind out of you and just made you be like, you know what? I'm good. I'm good on all of this stuff. I don't have to do this. You know what I'm saying? I could go and get me a job and make some good money doing something that I really, really enjoy outside of this music thing. Whatever the case might be for you in your scenario, I get it. Sometimes we can have these things that knock us completely off, just completely take us out of our whole mindset. I give, I have to give a reference point for this stuff so you can kind of get a context of better what I mean, what I'm saying. I had a situation that happened this weekend with me. So my faucet in my kitchen, as a man in your house, you become all things to please everybody. So to appease rather. So we have a faucet in our kitchen that was like leaking or whatever. And you have to kind of adjust the handlebars. Anybody that got a house, you might know something about this. You have to adjust like the hot lever to get the water to cut all the way off. It wasn't, it's something that is one of those things as a man, I'll get to it. I'll do that later. I get it later. So anyway, long story short, we go to Home Depot getting some stuff for my son to work on his bike or whatever. And I said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and buy this faucet. I've been putting this off and putting this off. I'm going to get this faucet. I'm going to put it on so I can be done with it. I can keep it moving. Vic, good morning to you. I keep it moving. I can, get on with my life. Wife happy. I'm happy. Everybody's happy. No leaky faucet. We good. So I get home, start to install or start to try to take apart the old faucet. And as time would have it, the screws under the bottom are stuck on there, so it's hard to get off. So I got to find a different way how to get the old faucet up out of there. So needless to say, I wrestled with that for about 30 to 45 minutes till I finally get some leeway. And I'm like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm happy. I'm about to get the old faucet out so I can start to install on the new faucet. So lo and behold, I finally get both of the parts broke that I need to get broke to lift it up out of there. And as I lift up on it just a little bit, mind you, I haven't loosened up the hoses that connect to the water inlet, that has a shut-off valve on. I haven't just something on my part that I should have done first, but I didn't, so that's that. I didn't loosen up the hoses on those, so once I lifted up just a hair, my little PVC piping cracked. Water starts shooting over the entire kitchen. I mean, over everything, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Mind you, it's already late when I started doing this. Because me, in my mind, I thought that this was going to be an easy fix. I've done this before. I know how, this is just a little faucet. Unscrew a few bolts, whatever, and put this in here, hook up some hoses. We're good to go. We can keep it moving. Nope. Nothing like that. So I have water, gallons of water just gushing all over my kitchen floor. And my wife is like grabbing towels. It's like, oh man, it's just straight chaos. And it's like 11 o'clock. It's just almost like 11 o'clock at this time. So I'm already tired. And I'm doing this slightly irritated. And I ain't gonna say slightly, I was very irritated because I had wasted a lot of time trying to get the old faucet out. And then when I finally get somewhere, this whole thing just comes crashing down. So now my whole weekend is spent trying to get my plumbing right, and I had to cut the water off so the water was off in the house to keep the water from gushing all over the floor, messing up further my floors in the kitchen. So I'm it's a lot to say the least. So I get frustrated. So what happens for me mentally, all that being said, is I get thrown off. And I'm just trying to be transparent, be honest with you guys. I get thrown off how I normally think. And I feel like the way I reacted in terms of my frustration, I didn't do anything crazy, but I could tell I let my frustration get the best of me in the way I reacted instead of responded to the moment. I just, once I came back to myself, it's like you kind of start feeling down on yourself like, man, if that was a test, I know I failed because I didn't keep my cool in that situation. And I know, you kind of work on yourself. You're constantly working on your mind, kind of trying to have self-control and all this kind of stuff. But anything can happen in a moment that throw you completely off, shatter your whole whatever you got going on, and now you're finding yourself in these moments reacting instead of responding. Responding, we would take a moment, assess the situation, and see what's the best or the next greatest move to move forward, and making sure that we can come up with a solution. Because at the end of the day, I still had to get up and deal with the problem. I got up early. As a matter of fact, this was yesterday morning. I got up early yesterday morning, figured out what I needed to do, went to Home Depot again, and got some stuff to fix the situation. Needless to say, our water was off pretty much most of the day, or all day yesterday. And I just, I did what I had to do. I'm a hands-on type of guy. I don't like to do it, but it's one of those things. I'll do what I have to do. That's just the way I was raised. You as a man, you do what you have to do to make sure that your family is taken care of. So, I did what I had to do, become a plumber because I needed to be a plumber in that moment to make sure that we were good. But like I said, my initial reaction to it is what kind of got me. My initial reaction, how I responded, how I let that thing get the best of me and take me out of my peace. That's the point that I'm trying to make. You could have something random as a pipe bursting and spilling water all over your floor that takes you out of your peace. But when that stuff happens, get your footing back together. Get yourself together. It's kind of like them pep talks that I can't say everybody, but your dad or your mom or something that they give you. I've seen it a lot in movies and stuff, in sports events. The coach calls a player over to the side because player is getting distracted because somebody on the other team is really getting in their head. They're like, look, get yourself together. Get it together because you know what you got to do. You know what you got to go out there and do. So you got to get your mind together. You got to get your footing again. Stand up straight. Stand up tall. Remember who you are. Remember why you're here. That kind of thing, because you can get caught in those moments and know that you failed in the moment. And because of that, you start to sulk. You start this negative talk again. Man, I always mess up when something like this happens. I always do this. I always respond this way. I always block. You know what I'm saying? The story goes on and on. Now you're saying all of this stuff that you shouldn't be saying. You're doing all this crazy stuff. Who is that? Jerome Flood. Good morning to you, dude. What's up? So, you have all this crazy stuff coming out of your mouth that that's not right. I'm talking about just whack stuff that you're saying to yourself in a moment, because that's what that is. You're in a moment. You're experiencing something in a moment. Now, the deep side of this is some people have taken moments like that and made permanent decisions in a temporary moment, because it's been a lot of back to back. And I found myself even doing it. because it's a dangerous thing. When you get in those moments, you get the wind knocked out of you. What we have the tendency to do as human beings is we start stockpiling every other negative thing that's ever happened. We start bringing all that stuff, bringing it up. Every time I try to do this, this happens. Every time I try to do this, that comes up. And so we start stockpiling. In a negative moment, it seems like everything that ever happened in your life negative comes out in that moment, and so you start bringing it up. It ain't had nothing to do with the moment. Man, look like every time I try to fix something else break. Or look like every time, I'm trying to do right, this happens to me. It looks like I'm supposed to do right. It looks like you just have a whole bunch of foolishness. And sometimes you got to tell your own brain to shut up. Dude, shut up, man. Like, I don't need this extra stuff right now. So you have to literally shut your own brain down, because one of my favorite books, the Bible, of course y'all know that, it talks about the heart being wickedly deceitful. It's like your own mind, your own heart can tell you things that are not true concerning you, so you start to believe that stuff. Like, you start to believe your own thoughts, and that's a dangerous thing. When your thoughts are not pure, your thoughts are not something that's of good report, and you start to believe and co-sign your own thoughts. And like me, I have a tendency, if I get really, really negative, I have a tendency to withdraw. And that's something that I've learned about myself. So I have to almost, in those moments, keep myself doing something productive so I don't get in this really negative mindset and I start feeding myself negativity. It's like I don't even need any help from the outside world, because you can have enough negative stored thoughts on your backup hard drive that you haven't cleared off, that when these moments come up that throw you off, you start accessing those files, going back and looking at these old folders of negative stuff that happened, and you opening that stuff up and trying to view all this stuff. So now your computer has all these open folders of negativity. You going through just folder after folder, and you're just processing this stuff. Just one thing after the next, processing, negative, negative, negative. And so you start finding yourself sitting still, doing the opposite of get back up again. You're sitting down, processing, just thinking, somebody, what's wrong with you? Nothing. And you know what's wrong. You're processing all this negativity. You have to find it. Number one, be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself. Admit, hey, I made a mistake, or I lost it, or I messed up in this moment. Something I should have done, I didn't do it. And it is what it is. I made a mistake. And move on. Just let it go. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the thing is, figure out the best way. Respond instead of react. And it happens to the best of us. Like I said, generally, I think I'm pretty decent, but there's a lot of areas where I know I need some work. And I'm working through these areas, and they're not always easy. Sometimes, and especially, it's really a blow when it's something you thought you've kind of outgrown, or something you think you've gotten past, and then it hits you out of nowhere, and you find yourself reacting the same way you used to react, or similar to that way, and then that thing almost sucks you back in time, make you feel like you haven't made any progress. That's not true. You made progress. One moment, a negative moment, or two moments don't define who you are. The overall, your overall being. That's why you're renewing your mind daily. You're daily renewing your mind. You're daily changing what you think, because it's a process. It happens daily. You might mess up today, but that don't mean you don't get up tomorrow. Renew your mind. I mean, if it's something you messed up, if you sin, whatever the case may be, repent, get up, dust yourself off, and keep trying to get better. Don't get caught in that thing and think that's the end because you messed up. I thought the wrong thing. I said the wrong thing. I reacted the wrong way. I went off on somebody. I snapped on my loved one. I did something that I shouldn't have done. No. Go make amends with that person. If it's brought to your attention, if what I'm saying is bringing to your attention something you know you need to deal with, go deal with it. Now, one of the things we can do is take that passive approach where, okay, I know I messed up and that's on me. That's my fault. I'm going to do better. No. Was anybody else involved in your messing up? All right. How did you handle somebody in your moment? Now, do you need to go back and apologize to that person? I found myself sometimes having to go back and apologize to my kids because of being frustrated how I talked to them or how I acted with them in a moment. It wasn't their fault. They just kids. They doing what kids do. Get on your nerves sometimes. So, you know what I'm saying? They're just doing their job. Now, it's your responsibility as a parent to train them to do what they're supposed to do. But sometimes the way by which we go about that is wrong. It's like, there's this book that me and my wife was reading, this couples book a while back, and it says something along the lines about you were right but wrong at the tone of your voice. You were right about what you said, but you were completely wrong about how you went about doing it. So sometimes we can be right in what we're doing. And as some of us, we get a kick out of being right. I know I'm right. I know I'm right. But you're completely wrong in how you went about trying to prove that you were right. So sometimes you have to go back and reevaluate everything about what you're doing. And I think that's a lot of the problem that happens in relationships, not only with your spouse, but in just relationships with other people and dealing with other people. Sometimes we're so gung-ho about being right, we don't realize how we may have come across to people in our quest for being right. Because yeah, you were right, but the way you handled that person, the way you treated that person, and in essence, it made you pretty much as wrong as they were. I know this is great English as I'm giving this morning, but yeah, y'all get my point. The way you handled this situation, the way you handled this person, it basically made you wrong. You're wrong. So you need to deal with that and move on. Deal with it. You know what I'm saying? It's not your business what other people do with how you treat them or how you handle them. But it is your business what you do about it. How you handle that person is definitely your business. Now, how they respond to it, it has nothing to do with you. If you know in your heart you done what was right in terms of handling these people and giving them time to process or whatever the case may be, you done right by them, and you know there's no conviction in your heart that's saying opposite, but you know within everything within your power, you did what was right to make something right with a person or with a situation. Well, you good, but you're not responsible for how that person responds to you, or reacts, not respond, but how that person reacts to you. All right, let me read through a few of these comments before I go too much further. Let's see here. All right, so who is this? Yes, I completely understand I had to change my kitchen faucets all day project, but God helped me to figure out, yeah, doc, one of the things that starts out should have been easy, but yeah, you can get wrapped across your head and get thrown off. Charles, good morning to you, man. He said, coming in late. Morning, fam. Sounds like we had similar weekends. Yeah, I don't know what yours consisted of, but mine was interesting to say the least. And the whole weekend wasn't bad. It's just that last little piece of it got a little weird, you know? It got a little weird. I will say that. Floppy, he said, I totally agree. At least you have files. Mine be in my head. So them joints just be sitting there, huh? He said, I had to do CPR on my wife after she suffered cardiac arrest. Whoa. He said, there were voices saying, give up, and the one saying, just keep going. I listened to the right one, and praise God, she is still here. Wow, hold on. Wait a minute. You just can't just throw that out there. That's a whole nother level. That's a whole nother level. Yeah, you definitely did the right thing by listening to the right voice. My goodness, dude. I can't even fathom that. I don't want to fathom that thought, man. Well, kudos to you, man, for even being there and knowing what to do in that moment, man. It's just, and that's the other thing, just I believe in just being confident of what you know is right. Not backing down from your guns when you know it's right, when you know it's the right thing to do. Not backing down, man. I can't imagine that. Just being there and wow. Yeah, that's it takes me a second to process all of that. Floppy, man, I'm glad your wife is I'm glad she's still here, and I'm glad you were able to be there to be a person to help her stay here. With the help of God, of course. But wow, that's something serious. So stick to your guns. Stick to your guns. If you know it's right, keep going. Yes, tone makes the difference. By the way, I love the video on Yanks Live. Oh man, thank you. I appreciate that. I almost forgot all about that. The video I did there. So I again, I just want to share that a few of those thoughts again about getting back up again. Don't get stuck. Don't get stuck in that moment. Don't get stuck in a moment of what you perceive as failure. Because one of the things I've come to learn in my little short 38 years of being here, one of the things I've come to learn, things that are oftentimes perceived as a moment of failure, can it can often be viewed as a moment of growth instead of a moment of failure. It looks like a failure, but is there an opportunity to learn from this moment? Is there an opportunity to take something away from this moment other than the perceived failure? Like, I messed up. I should have done this, I should have done that, and this fell apart, and this, like, but what did you learn? I think that's something that the older I get, I'm able to go back and look at things and say, hey, I actually learned this, I actually learned that. Because in those moments, I ain't gonna tell no story. I fought in those moments because I felt like I was being dealt an unfair hand. You know what I'm saying? It's like, this ain't right. I shouldn't be, like I deserve something. But that's my thought process at this moment. In mind, I got this whole you reap what you sow. And that's true. You do reap what you sow. And so because of that, when these things come up, I'm not thinking about, hey, these trials are coming to make you stronger. In that moment, I ain't being that deep. I'm thinking, hey, I didn't sow this, so why am I getting this back? I didn't treat people like this, so why somebody treat me like this? I didn't put this out, so why am I getting this back? Not realizing that, no, it's going to rain on, the just as well as the unjust, if you want to use that reference. But it's like, it's going to happen to this person over here, and it's going to happen to you too. You're not excused just because you have done, or you continually do something great, or you continually try to live a certain way, you continually try to live a certain life, you continually try to put out a certain energy, or whatever the thing is. It doesn't mean you're going to escape trouble. It doesn't mean you're going to escape trials. Stuff is going to hit your doorstep just like it's going to hit everybody else's. All these different things that's going on for everybody else is going to come to you too. And it's just life. And having, and I might have to eat these words, but I'm understanding that this is a part of life, but having that understanding that these things are going to happen, and these things are for us to grow from. We have to remind ourselves daily of these things. I have to grow from this, man. This is some tough stuff, but I have to grow from it. That's the only way this is going to be of any benefit to me. I have to grow from this thing and know that this thing didn't come to tear me down, but it comes to build me up in some type of way. Any of the fights that you watch when these guys go through, I'm old school. I go back to, like, referencing, the Jean-Claude Van Damme movies, when he would when his brother or somebody would get killed or something like that, and he wasn't really a fighter like that, but now this big buff dude who wasn't that buff before, he has to go through this training where he has to do all these things that almost kill him to become this fighter so that he can go and defend his brother's honor. His brother, who was this and great that, now he has to become this super fighter who's better than his brother to defend his brother's honor. And again, these things almost kill him. It's one of the things I see him kicking this, I think it was like a bamboo tree or something like that, and he busted his shin and all this kind of stuff. You would think, like, man, that's just cruel for a trainer to have him doing that to the point where he almost killed himself. But the trainer knows what's necessary for him to be able to endure in order to overcome. I know this is all fictional, but still, you get the point. The trainer knows what's necessary for him to be able to endure this battle that he has to go through. So the trainer will send you through something to you that seems excruciating and that seems very unfair and seems like it's completely unnecessary. But the trainer knows what you need in order to be able to face this battle that you have to face. You don't know because you never fought this thing before. You don't know what it takes to stand up against this thing. So you think your current set of disciplines, your current set of skills, your current amount of practicing that you're doing is enough, and it's not. You don't know what you have to go through. Trust me, if I had known when I was going to become a music professional, what was going to be required, I probably would have been like, you know what? Yeah, blood sport. There we go. Come on here. You know what? I think I'm gonna go ahead and do something different. That's probably what I would have said. Just knowing what the trials and the mental stress that was gonna come from being a professional musician and some of the stuff that I was gonna go through, I probably would have chose a different route. Just on the outside looking in, saying, "Oh, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that." It's gonna be coupled with this success, but it's going to be spread out over a long period of a lot of failures. It's like, I don't know about that. I'm good. You know what? Y'all go ahead. I'll probably just do this on my spare time when I have time. I'll do this little music thing when I have time. But I wouldn't be able to reap a lot of the benefits that I've reaped and that I am currently reaping now had I not stuck it out and just went on through it and faced the fear and did it anyway. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of the things you just continuously grow from and know that you're gonna come out better in the end when it's all said and done. You're gonna come out a lot better in the end. But at the end of the day, dust yourself off, get up, and keep going. All right, that's all I'm gonna say concerning that. I think I said enough in that particular regard. But anyway, anybody got anything to add? I'll give you a second to drop your comment down below. And again, if you guys jumping on late, I was playing this groove, and it's from the album Life song called Scramble, not Scrambled with a D. It's Scramble. Anywho, just wanted to jump on for a few seconds. Y'all know how we do with grooves and motivation. If you're new to my channel, I welcome you to hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and turn on my notifications so you know when I go live. I'm Jermaine Morgan. I'm trying to get my thoughts together. I'm Jermaine Morgan. This is Grooves and Motivation. If you are looking to improve on your bass playing, I have tons of videos here on this channel. So do yourself a favor. When this is over, go binge a few of these videos, especially in the area of like groove and learning a few licks here and there and learning gospel music, that kind of thing. These are some of the things that I really deal with heavily. So do yourself a favor, go search around the channel, and there's plenty of stuff to help you in your journey as a bass player, becoming a better player. I don't only do just gospel music, but just overall groove in general, things that you can apply to almost any genre. But specifically, that's what I spend the most of my time in is gospel music. That's what I play the most of, and some fusion, that kind of thing. So if you're looking for additional help, more one-on-one type lessons, more lessons catered to your growth, I encourage you to check out JermaineMorgan.net. I have monthly membership lessons there available for anybody who's looking to grow on bass. I have courses on my website to teach you more and more about what it is you're trying to do as a player. You just got to go through the site and check some of this stuff out. So I see a few comments popped up here. Charles said, "Yo, Scramble is my gym song." Yes, sir, man. So Charles, you weren't here earlier when I was quizzing the viewers on what song that was. So yes, sir, I appreciate that. Great words of advice, man. Thanks again. Oh, well, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Y'all, I'm a little cloudy this morning, so y'all look over me. Andre says, "Thank you for your bass tracks. I bought 2 packs." I appreciate that. I really appreciate it. We'll be binging these videos again. I appreciate it, man. Andre, thank you, man, for mentioning that. I do have, if you guys are looking to get more into gospel music, I'm always trying to be aware that there are people here that may not play gospel in particular, but you're interested in it. My culture, I came out of a gospel quartet culture. Originally, that's what I started playing. It's very, very fun style of music to play, and I think people who grew up playing gospel quartet have a different understanding of groove and quote unquote pocket. I'm not saying that's the only form of pocket, but like just understanding your place in the music and understand as a bass player, understanding foundation. Like gospel quartet players have a really different perspective as it pertains to foundation and really holding the groove together with less notes. And that's across the board in almost any genre. I'm not saying that they're the best in terms of if you don't play gospel quartet, you don't understand pocket, you don't understand groove. I'm not saying that, but I will say coming from that myself, it has a different thing that I haven't seen in almost any other genre. That discipline that it takes for somebody to be able to play that. Needless to say, I created a pack called the Gospel Quartet Jam Pack that I give you like 6 different gospel quartet grooves that you can play to. It comes with the tab and sheet music that gives you, my notation of what I was playing, as well as my take, the MP3 that has my take on it, so you can hear what I played over these tracks. And also, I went a step further and I created instructional videos for this. And I did the same thing if you guys are familiar with contemporary gospel or / Christian, that whole thing. I created some jam packs for that and created the instructional as well. So that's available on my website for anybody who's interested in digging into a little bit more of this gospel stuff and figuring out some different stuff that you can do over gospel type grooves, because you're not exposed to any gospel where you are, or you just are not going to probably get the opportunity to play this type of music other than trying to play along with people on YouTube videos. I think I have a really authentic approach, being that that's where I came from. I play both guitar and bass, and I understand the music. I traveled with the gospel quartet group, believe it or not. In my early years of starting, I was playing guitar, traveling with the gospel quartet group. So I was very submerged in that quartet culture, and I understand it very, very, very well. And I wanted to take that knowledge and the experiences that I've had and wrap them up in a little course, or wrap them up in a pack, and give people some type of bird's eye view, so to speak, of what that feels like, what I'm saying, or experience it, and being able to experience what that feels like, both that and contemporary gospel or contemporary Christian. So yeah, so check those out, JermaineMorgan.net. You can go to my courses tab, and you'll see the drop down where it says Bass Jam Packs. You'll find it all there if you're looking for that. Also on my courses tab, you'll see every other bass course that I have available, anything that you want to take and apply. I haven't talked about this year at all, but I do have a course called Be Productive and Multiply. If you're looking to improve, this is a course where I pretty much summarize a lot of the things. I put it like this: a lot of people want to know, man, how do you come up with this stuff that you talk about in grooves and motivation? Like, when did it click for you? Because I know you didn't grow up talking that way. No, I didn't. It came over a period of learning and reading and studying and getting mentored and having mentors and a lot of stuff. And there's a lot of years of trial and error, a lot of falling on my face, a lot of making a lot of mistakes, a lot of praying, a lot of studying and reading even my Bible and all this stuff. But I get into the mindset and a lot of the thought process behind all of this stuff, and I summarize what it took me years to learn in 7 videos. I break all of this stuff down and give you guys a lot of ideas. A lot of the concepts in this course are very similar to the ideas that I'm talking about in my book, 10 Ways to Success, that's available on Amazon. A lot of the concepts are very similar to this book, and I really get into changing your mind, really dealing with self-improvement, a lot of that stuff. So if you're interested in that type of thing, I invite you to check out that course, Be Productive and Multiply. It's not for everybody, although everybody could benefit from it. I understand that some people are just not interested, and to some people I might not have enough, to them I might not have enough value, so to speak, and I get it. It's cool. For those who it's for, by all means, you check it out. You benefit from the information, from the knowledge. I'm the type of person you don't have to necessarily be the most famous person in the world for me to find value in what you're saying. If I can see the fruit of your life producing something that I want, then I think it's valuable for me to hear what you have to say. So yeah, that's one of the things I just wanted. It's something that I was reluctant to do because of that very reason. I felt like, man, why would people listen to anything that I had to say? But I'm like, nah, you have something valuable. You have something that you paid for, almost with your life, and it's something that could possibly save someone else's life, or something that could possibly help someone else to change their entire trajectory of where they're headed in their life, to get things back on course for them, or headed in the right direction. So put it out there, put the information out there, and the ones who are hungry for it will come and eat it. So that's the philosophy behind why I did that course. It's not a bass course, it's nothing music related at all. It's just a musician telling you some of the things from his own personal story and the story of others and other things that I've learned that will help you if you're interested in growth and that kind of thing. So again, that's called Be Productive and Multiply, of course, on my website. This book, again, 10 Ways to Success, I have copies available still that I will send you. If you want a signed copy, you can find these on my website, JermaineMorgan.net, all this kind of stuff. Yeah. So just go to the shop tab and you can find this book. It's available in the PDF form because I know I have people that want the actual PDF of it. And it's also available, the audio version is available as well on iTunes, I think. Amazon, just go to Amazon, you'll see where you can get the audio version of it. But I think it's available on iTunes as well if you want to just listen to the audio of this book. You don't have time to sit down and read it. You want to listen to it, you can do that as well. So anyway, guys, I think I've covered all the bases and the stuff that I was supposed to mention today. But thank you all for watching. I pray that y'all have a great and prosperous rest of your week. Yep, it's also on Audible. Thank you for that. It's also on Audible. If you guys use that stuff. Oh, I forgot to. It's on Kindle too. If you read Kindle, you get your books on Kindle. Is available there. So go ahead and grab that. You said we'll have to finally get your book this month. Yeah, man, you should. I grew up listening to all that era of music. My uncles play both instruments. Nice. I think I got everybody. So anywho, thank y'all for watching, man. If you found this video helpful, share it with somebody. Share this with somebody so they know, and it might be helpful to them as well. Thomas Basis, thanks so much. Always awesome. Thank you for watching. We're going to get better with this Grooves and Motivation live, y'all. Keep watching. Keep letting people know about it. And if nothing else, have a great day, y'all. I'm out. Blessings to you.